Hey, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Church of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere and hopeful elect. You brothers out there prophesying in the true name and in the true doctrine about the times we're in and headed to, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Alright, this Kwadash Payah. And I got a couple articles. I'm going to read the headlines, right? Because, you got a lot going on, and the kings of the earth, these different politicians and presidents, some are dying or assassinated rather, some are resigning. I believe I think it was a general, if I'm not mistaken, of Israel who resigned, but it says here on CNN, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigned after mutiny in his party. Right? Then you have Sri Lanka president to resign after we know what was going on over there. With all the protests. I believe their economy was dropping drastically. Then you have an assassination, the former prime minister of Japan, which is also, one of America's allies. And, hey man, you have the Mexican president vows to tear down, Statue of Liberty. But this is the one I wanted to get, where it states our business inside of Russia and China are brewing up a challenge to dollar dominance by creating a new reserve currency. And this is big because, you got China, Russia, India, Africa, and Brazil. And, so there's a lot of events that even happened in the past, even when they killed Gaddafi. When Gaddafi was assassinated because he was going towards the gold standard. And so when presidents resign, or when you hear about assassinations, that's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? And I want to get this real quick in the book of Daniel chapter 2 verse 21. And he changeth the times and the seasons, he removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. And that's the men of the Lord. The elect. They're going to have the knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to discern a lot of things that is going on. Because the scriptures speak about it. Right? But the point on this is what? He removeth kings and setteth up kings. Right? So we're waiting for Yahushai to come back, which is who? The King of Kings, and the kings of this earth, right? With all the friction going on, and we still under captivity under these heathens. That's all they are, is heathens. Moab, Ammon, Esau, Ham, Ishmael, right? Which are their biblical names, and the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, which are the biblical Israelites, were still in this captivity. So in order for the King of Kings to arrive to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, right? The rest of the rulers of the world right now, remember the scriptures say the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. The Lord is bringing them low, right? And hey man, this is the times we're experiencing. Let me get Alright, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse. I'll start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So these, people that's protesting, right, rallying, and because of the economy, because of prices, going up. People are hungry, right? People can't work, businesses, you know what I mean? So people are frustrated, and we know that this is prophecy. Famine must come to pass, pestilences, division amongst people, right? And that's what's causing people to uproar, you see? And a lot of these presidents and governments, seeing what's going on, a lot of them are fleeing to bunkers, to what was it, apocalyptic planes, if you will. They really scared, man. They really scared, and war's in the air. You know what I mean? And then you have all the chariots showing up, which is the angels of the Lord, showing what's going on. And then you had, not too long ago, 2 days ago, you had the Georgia Guidestones, which is like the rules or commandments of the agendas of these rulers that's behind the government, the high elites, right? The banking families, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, the Gettys, that has their secret meetings and things like that. But things are crumbling, and that's why every time different kingdoms was ruling, their economy crumbled, right? They were going against one another. Wars popped off, protests. People in the city started, because when it says they shall not regard their kings, that's happened many times. Look at Rome. This is James chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." And the kings of this earth, their miseries is coming upon them. And then on top of that, they're witnessing the plagues that the Lord is bringing upon them as well, right? And this is who we're prophesying. We're prophesying against these wicked kings of the earth that's in cahoots with each other, but also, allies is betraying one another, because of the of lack of trades and things like that. That's why the nations that formed the alliance called the BRICS are coming with another currency. You see, and the world is in competition of that fourth industrial revolution, a new digital currencies, right? Is why everything's going digital. Everything's smart, smartphone, smart watch, smart this. So, but the Lord is not going to it won't be established. It's leading that's going to be towards the hour of temptation, but they're not going to establish it. It says your riches are corrupt and your garments are moth-eaten, right? Your riches are corrupt. All the riches, all the gold, all the precious stones, all the precious metals that the kings of the earth has now was stolen by the Israelites, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the biblical Israelites, when we were invaded, right? Every heathenistic president or king has had a hand in having us in captivity. whether it's trades, whether it's whatever, you know? And China's not the next superpower, you know? They're not. They're gonna be they're not gonna be utterly destroyed, but they're getting it. You know, the scriptures speak about it's gonna be a day of the heathen. Let me see if I get that. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Right? Starting with Esau, you know, and then the rest of the heathens, the rest of the nations, right? For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. Right? As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. And why you think John the Revelator had stated what? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So when we rule, when the elite, when the elect, when the kingdom of heaven is established on earth, the tabernacle of David, we're gonna have these heathens as our slaves. Matter of fact, let me see if I believe that's Psalms chapter 2 verse 8. It says, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Because the Lord created the earth for the sake of Israel. You know? That's why Esther was even asking, like, Lord, if you created the earth for us, why do not we possess it? Roughly paraphrasing. You know? Because, you know, all of this was for seasons and times, and when we rule, it's going to be everlasting. All right? It says, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces, like a potter's vessel. And when you read Revelation, let me see if I get that. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. Let's see. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. Salakia. Go to this one. It says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. See? So, hey man, our kingdom will never be taken again. It will never be given to another people, as Daniel stated in Daniel chapter 2 verse, I believe around about the 45th verse, you know. So we've seen the downfall of these kings, right? Let me see if there's more in that James. I'll read verse 4. It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived, right? Because we know we in captivity. Our forefathers always plead and cried unto the Lord to help us out of the hands of our enemies. Because at the end of the day, man, all these these are all our enemies. These are our enemies right here, you know? And they're going to try to flee. They're going to try to whatever, but the Lord ain't dealing with the BRICS nations. The Lord ain't dealing with NATO. The Lord ain't dealing with none of them, you know? We're up next, right? Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts, as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, a husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, meaning your mind, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. And we know that by, hey, the scriptures, Yahweh Shai spoke of what? Wars and rumors of wars. And we've seen that we're in a time of war. We're in the time of the Lord turning things up, because he's nearer than we believe. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that out. I hope this was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.